Ando, have been trying to... Yes, I think it's fair to say I've been trying to pump the brakes a little on the old impulse buys.
Really?
And have just been trying to exercise a bit of self-control.
How'd you go?
Well, let's acknowledge the intent first.
Oh, no.
I think that's a nice first step.
No, because it's very easy to come out, as we've always said, to go, hey, I'm going to do this. And we all celebrate. In fact, this show is known for celebrating, saying they're going to do things.
Yes.
And then not doing them.
Because
so I think as a group, we should probably hold hands and go, hey, let's do less of the celebrating the idea of it.
Yeah, it is dangerous. It is dangerous to... I read an amazing thing the other day, which is why people don't follow through on stuff. It's because when you say, hey, guys, everyone, gather in. I'm doing a half marathon.
Yeah, right.
Everyone's like, wow, but you're not known for running. Yeah, well, I'm doing one. I'm doing it. And everyone's like, you're the best, mate. Good on you. Good on you, mate. Well done. That's a huge achievement. Good luck. You actually get about 80% of the satisfaction of an achievement if you announce it.
Right.
And then from then on in, there's very little reason to follow through and do all the hard work and get the extra 20. You're better off just moving on to the next thing you can get 80% for.
Next announcement.
The next announcement.
You know what? I'm going to solo yacht around the world.
Oh, wow. We've got another bloody Jessica Watson on our hands here. Yes, I am. I'm going to be the second youngest person. And then you start looking into it going, so many knots, so many training sessions. Which way's the wind going?
Looks a few
currents go this way in the southern hemisphere, they go this way in the northern. I don't know. Very cold out there. How far away are you from the coast? Not interested. So, yes, I'm aware that celebrating the intent is a dangerous trap. So I have been trying to pump the brakes, but during this pump the brakes period, people will often, a lot of the time, like probably one of the main things that I get DM'd is just people going, how could you resist this?
Which is really unlucky for you. Because
yes, I've announced I have a problem.
Else that's trying to get off, say if it was alcohol, it's the equivalent of everyone sending you the latest drink specials from Dan Murphy's and also your mates going, hey, you'd love this new beer.
Don't know if you heard of it, but the Craft Awards are out this year. You sure you want to give up?
Exactly.
So one of the things, you keep getting sent it, and I think it actually comes from when I bought us all the pepper cannon, which was the world's, most elite pepper delivery system, which according to them, and look, they have applied a lot of engineering and time and money to a problem that just didn't bother us.
It was a robust pepper grinder, but
it can't get better.
You can't
get a pepper grinder.
You can't use the word cannon if you're not going to expel the pepper at a rate.
No projectile. Yes.
It,
just because heaps is coming out the end, you can't say it's a cannon.
No.
Like pirates couldn't call it a cannon if they're just tipping heaps of balls out there. You need to have a projectile.
Exactly, and that was
there needs to be a force. So that was we had many issues, and we're not here to kick the pepper cannon while it's down. But I think because we talked about the pepper cannon, a lot of people started sending me a thing which is essentially a salt cannon. But this is a cannon.
Ooh.
It's called a bug assault, right? I just want to say, so many people have sent it to me, I get it, okay? It's a thing where you put rock salt in, you give it a pump. It's like a pump action shotgun. Give it a pump, and it's to shoot flies in the house or spiders and stuff. Instead of using... So it uses the rock salt as kind of like shotgun shot.
Yep.
So it's spring-loaded, and you blast the flies, and you don't have to use fly spray. I just want to tell everyone, I get it. I've seen it. You can stop sending it to me.
Yeah.
Because I've bought a few. You got me. You bloody got me.
Yeah.
Looks great. Yeah. Okay, you wore me down. At first, I was starting to get them when I had been like, no, I'm just going to take a little break for a while. Yeah. I've had a few missteps. The pepper cannon was a big one. Just taking a break. But they wore me down, and I kept watching the YouTube video a few times of the guy shooting flies with the bug assault, and I just thought,
have they arrived?
I can't not enjoy this fun.
No.
They're on their way, Ando. I bought them a few days ago. Yep. Cracked. I got us 2, one each.
Great.
I'm excited. And it's actually put a lot of pressure on me in a parenting perspective too.
Yeah,
because got a little boy who's about to turn 8. And
he'd love a go, but
for any kid that kind of hits 7 or 8, this is just where suddenly guns become fascinating. And of course, you run the old, hey mate, no guns in the house. We don't play guns in the house.
Yep.
But Dad, you bought me a Nerf gun. Yeah, that's more of a popper, more of a. What about Star Wars? We always watch Star Wars. They're blasters. Yeah, we do. Blasters are fine, and the Nerf weapons, I suppose, are more kind of like they're sort of shooters. They're more foam shooters, less than a gun.
Yeah.
Trouble is, I'm excited for him to use it because I think he'll love it. And I am the bug assault.
Yeah.
And I am trying to run a bit of a no guns policy. And I just accidentally forgot that before my imposed not buying any more stuff, I funded a Kickstarter for what is claiming to be the world's best and most accurate foam disc gun.
Oh.
It's called the Shelby Destroyer, or the Shelby Blaster, battery operated, Ando.
Right.
Has a magazine of 120 foam discs.
Wow.
And Jack, don't laugh because foam
that's
discs.
just so annoying to pick up. Like picking up.
Well,
10
120, you're not going to need to pick them up very often. It's getting pretty close to a battlefield simulation where you're just shooting. You're not going to pick up your bullets after you've shot them. You're just purely shooting.
Yeah.
Lithium-ion battery, Ando. I think it fires 8 discs a second.
Wow.
If you can squeeze the trigger that fast. So this thing is just unbelievable. It breaks all previous records for disc blasters.
But it hasn't been made yet.
They're not, so after I bought Bug Assault, 2 days ago I got the email, we're going into production. And I went, I completely forgot I bought 2 of those as well.
Yeah.
I've got those heading because I thought that could be fun. They're not cheap. And I'm just saying, it just put me in a tough bind because I want these so badly. And I bought them and they're on their way. I'm just trying to, how do I spin this into fitting our anti-gun narrative?
Yeah.
That on one hand, Dad's saying no guns. On the other hand, I realized that this week I've bought, really 3.
Yeah, 3 guns.
Elite weapons that are coming into the house.
Will the salt hurt?
I think it will. It seems to kill a fly.
That's what I've got.
There's a lot of slow-mo on the video.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, just a bit of an update, bit of a weapons update. We've got quite a lot coming our way. Great. And, just quietly away from the kids. Get excited.
But watch this space on that one. Haim, let's get straight into it because there's a big announcement.
Huge news here at Hamish Andy headquarters. Mail day.
Yeah.
The post has arrived. That doesn't mean that Jack Post is here as a man, although it could. It could mean that.
Yeah.
But no, Ando, one of my shrewd online purchases has turned up. And this thing, sometimes on the internet, it can be not quite what you hoped for. Sometimes you get lucky. Yeah, look at this. Sometimes you get lucky and it's a copper sphere. So it's a beautifully, perfectly round ball of valuable metal, much heavier than you would expect it to be. That was the high watermark, but now the Bug Assault has arrived.
I've got my hands in it, which is wild because Haim would normally be the first to grab the gun, but we did paper, rock, scissors, and I've won. You always go scissors.
And it just feels like, I do always go scissors. Just feels like in this world to fully test. What this is it's like you put table salt in this toy gun.
Yep.
It's pump action, loads some of the salt in, and it fires a high velocity blast of salt at houseflies. We got a lot of flies in our house, and they provide me with a disproportionate amount of frustration. And
I would love this for the beach house.
Cannot wait to get this home tonight. Take my son on his first hunting trip. We'll wear the bright orange stuff that you wear so you don't accidentally shoot another hunter.
Yes.
Obviously talk to the government. Might ring up the government beforehand and go, look, we just want to do the right thing. Do we need a permit? We're hunting flies. Can't wait to bag me, just string them up on the fence outside by their legs, gut them, blood them, just have a huge haul of flies tonight when we go hunting. But to test the power, it just felt like the right thing to do to do it in here.
Before you arm your son with it, we should test the power.
Yeah.
It's very well made. Often things online are very disappointing. This one, Ham, it's very
happy to give this a good rap.
It seems robust, doesn't it?
Yeah, we haven't got a kill with it yet, but it just seems robust.
It was, and it's the Bug Assault 3.0.
Yep. So they've ironed out the kinks.
They've refined it.
You keep pointing it at me as you're reading the side of it. I just don't want it to go off.
Jack looked really nervous the entire time there.
This is what happens when you grow up in a country without guns. We don't know how to handle them.
Yeah.
No, we treat them all like they're loaded. But I mean, Jack, from your fake fear to my real fear, because Andy, I think you should just shoot me in the chest with it.
I think so. It's got a safety jack, so that's why the safety on.
Well, Andy, no, that's not.
That's not the rule.
Just for any kids listening, that's not the rule with guns. No, you don't. No. It's all right, mate. I can point, I can waggle it around, I can waggle it in your face, but I've got the safety on.
Very true. Okay. Hey, you're unluckily you're going to be the guinea pig, but it is for obviously safety at home.
This is the thing. I think usually you wouldn't want it to hurt that much, but the more it hurts me, the more happy I'll be because I know the more power I'll be unleashing onto those flies. So
where do you want it?
Straight in the chest, thanks, mate.
Okay. I've pumped it. Oh, cheapers! It's got.
Yeah, you know that spring's for real.
Yeah,
it's the real deal.
Okay, are you ready?
Yep. All right, here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a delayed reaction. Oh, it gives you a sting.
Oh, it's giving you a little welt and some blood.
And some blood. There is blood, salty blood coming out.
So at least it's cleaning the wound immediately.
Yeah, it is straight away. And it's funny because it's going to get blood on my T-shirt, but how do you get blood stains out? You put table salt on them. Now we need a gun that fires soda water. That's no joke.
That's no joke.
Oh, that's killing a fly.
Yeah. So what was I, about 30, 40 centimetres away there?
And it's bleeding. Look at this.
I feel a little bad.
No, don't. I'm happy with this.
So that was 30, 40 centimetres away. So I reckon you can get a fly from, what, a couple of metres?
I reckon it's probably got a lethal range of a metre. And you actually don't, I mean, you can get that, you can easily get that close to a fly. It's the frustrating part is when you are in that critical 10 centimetre zone, that's when they move.
Yes.
But they're not getting away from this.
No, and
this is very exciting.
It's actually a very small amount of salt in the, because
your salt costs are minimal.
It wasn't so much the cost. I was like, are you going to be cleaning salt up from around the house? But you can't even see.
Oh, were you worried about
a little bit?
Yeah, you were, weren't you? I should have guessed that. That's true. The nuisance of a fly can pale in comparison to the 1 grain of salt on a black bench top or something that could frustrate Ando.
I think they've used a great amount of salt is my point. I think you'd barely notice it.
And, for regular listeners, they would know that obviously the pepper cannon was...
disaster. Awful.
This is where this started. That was classic case of over-engineering.
Yep.
We just don't need that much pepper and no one asked for it. We do need this. And this is the right amount of salt.
And I know it's
right
predominantly for getting rid of houseflies, but you could salt your fish and chips from across the room.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, this has changed the game, hasn't it? Took a while to come, I will say that. Took a little while to get here. Might order another one. Just because you don't want to be down, you want one, you want a cache. Yeah.
Haim, we've all been waiting bated breath because the bugger salt you took home, the weapon that we were very impressed with that would shoot flies. You sent me a video that I was impressed with. You and your son were out.
Within minutes of me getting home from the podcast, we were hunting our first kill downstairs at our house.
And then as soon as you got a fly, you gave it across to the tanner.
And that's why Jack's wearing that beautiful fly skin coat today. Made from the pelt of 1,000 flies. Here's the thing, quick recap for people, because I know even if you listen to last week's podcast, it's sort of like, okay, you got to understand the gun. And
people are joining the podcast at all times. We recommend going back to the start, but if you're just joining now, welcome.
Reverse order is always controversial, but we're not here to tell you how to spend your free time. So if that's what you want to do, good fun. It's a plastic shotgun, essentially. It fills up with table salt. So not rock salt. So this is the one that comes in a big plastic tub, not the one you grind.
Which I felt better about because rock salt I was worried would be too painful.
Too painful. I don't think you could get the velocity you need with rock salt from a spring. I think it might be a bit too heavy. I think the iodized table salt works really well. I mean, I'm probably going to go deep into the...
Probably compacts better, hey?
I'm going to go deep into the ballistics a little bit here today because I've studied the gun intently and... It's absolutely the right salt for the ammunition, the granules of table salt, because it also doesn't leave it barely leaves the salt residue on the bench once you've blasted the fly. The whole idea is it's a pump action. You fill it up. You fill up its salt chamber. It says you get 80 shots out of it. My experience is it's closer to 50. That's fine. It also fires much better when it's full, like rather than scrounging around for scraps. You can have a few kind of like pretty empty fires. Essentially, you are shooting a fly. It's a pump action, loads one load of salt in with a spring-loaded mechanism, and then you fire it at a fly. And you've got a killing range of about 15 to 20 centimetres.
Yep.
After that, you might stun the fly, sort of 15 to 30 centimetres, you might stun it. After that, you've got to get pretty lucky with the salt spread for a piece to rip through its wing or whatever. So essentially, you are hunting flies in a hygienic way. I was going to say safe, not safe for the fly. No. Hygienic way, so you're not using fly spray all over the kitchen. The reviews are in. It's a hit. Have you used yours?
Well, no, I haven't. And I was
it's unbelievable.
Hang on, let me just text my sister to see whether I can, because it seemed like you're having a ball with Sunny. It seemed like there was a great.
Mate, you don't need a kid for it. I mean, it certainly adds a level of father-son bonding. What it does, I'll tell you what it does. My wife is not that impressed with it being in the house. She was trying to have a business meeting the first day that we had it, or maybe second day that we had it, and I was walking around. And I guess because I was in board shorts and socks and nothing else, like it seemed like I was sort of 16 years old and I had my plastic gun and I was hunting a fly. And I do try to explain to her, like, I can't be working all the time. Like, I do, I do have to unwind. What it does is you get so excited when you see a fly in the house.
Yep.
It changes the dynamics of a fly in the house. Whereas a fly in the house used to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Now screams go up from around there. Even Zoe's getting involved now. She's like, fly.
Great.
So I go get the gun from the top cupboard because we're learning, gun safety. Never point at anyone. Dad's going to do it. I'll load it. Then the hunt begins. And I have taken one down from midair. No one believes me. No one saw it. But the thrill, wait, Ando, because you'll get one down at the beach house. There's a lot of flies down there.
We can't trust you, though. I mean, you said you saw 5 Guy Sebastian lookalikes on the one trip you went.
Not altogether.
Wasn't verified.
Not altogether.
Okay.
That was true. What I'm going to do is put a GoPro on the barrel because that's what needs to happen, like a Call of Duty kind of vision. Then I'm probably going to start a YouTube channel, Fly Hunter or something, and I might start twitching. Yeah. I might quit this because I am spending a lot of time hunting flies.
Yeah.
So Fly Hunter, HB Fly Hunter, that'll be the new channel I put up.
Yeah.
You can get them out of midair, but of course, it's an absolute crapshoot. Like they're zipping and changing the whole time.
Yeah.
Once they land, that's just when the party starts because it's that beautiful thing of they don't know what's about to happen. So they think you're within a safe range. Boom. I have shot flies from the bench into the open bin. Right?
Really?
I mean, that's a trick shot, and that I wouldn't recommend trying that on your first go. But usually you're hitting sometimes it hits the fly, depending on how much salt you've got in there, and that is a bit of a luck of the draw thing.
Yeah.
It can pulverize the fly.
Really?
It's really hitting it with force. Other times you do get unlucky with the salt spread and it flies off and you find it on the window and you sort of laugh and go, you're never getting away from me.
Yeah.
I've killed a lot. I'd say I've got over 50 scalps.
Wow.
Which has been big.
Yeah.
To include Zoe, to get her involved in the game, because she isn't, I can't say she's as amped as I am to have the bugger salt gun. Every time I kill one or two, I take out whoever's invaded, she's usually in the office at home. Well, that's her office. It's meant to be joint, but she does more work. She's in there doing stuff, and I'll walk in and whisper to her, the invaders have been neutralized by the president. I'm Secret Service, and I won't make eye contact, and I'll walk out, and then she keeps working. I think she's enjoying that side of it.
Does she acknowledge
she's working, but she's started to nod. So I'm someone just letting her know that won't be a problem anymore. Here's my
Has Sonny had a go?
Oh, yeah, he's good. He's enjoying it.
I'm just going to quickly text my sister Ham to say, is it okay to bring a what should I call it? Salt-powered shotgun?
Don't call it a shotgun. Call it a zapper. Blaster.
Well...
Just a little blaster that fires salt at flies to put them to sleep.
Okay.
Sleepy salt. This is the bit where Zoe doesn't believe me. I reckon... I think the word has got out. amongst the flies because there's been a few times I've fired at a fly and they've just escaped. And I think they've seen me kill the other ones.
I thought you meant they're not coming back to the house anymore.
Well, now I see a fly, I go and get the gun. You can't find the fly anymore. I think they see the gun and they go, party's over. I told you guys, not this house. And they go and they hide. I think they're waiting till nightfall to get out of the house because it really has started to happen a lot more where I go and get the gun and you can't find the fly anymore. Like they are terrified. So it acts as a deterrent. Yeah.
What a great review.
Yeah. I really am having
all the
I'm
junk
having a ball.
You've bought.
I'm going to get another one.
This is the first. Why do you need two?
I'm just worried about the spring mechanism eventually failing. And I know you want one, Jack. And as well as knitting the beard, I haven't got you and Bianca a present yet for the birth of your child. And I think this could be it.
Last question, Ham. Hot chips or anything. Have you used it to season?
No. You wouldn't use it to season. Okay. And it's not, I do prefer a ground salt or a chicken salt on the hot chips. It's coming out at a high velocity. I tell you what, though, it be careful shooting flies on the roof. I have had quite a few instances where you get blowback and you get salt in your eyes and that can be, again, and it's again just for your wife to walk in. You know, I'm 40 and when she comes in and you're rubbing your eyes and the gun's on the ground. What's happening? I've salted my eyes. It's just hard.
Hey, it's been a few weeks now. We've been waiting for an update on the bug assault with laser attachment and the new camouflage weaponry for taking down flies. You're going to give us a full review.
Tactical fly weapon system. Yeah, really, I'm ready for my review, very ready for the review. To quickly jog people's memories, this is exactly the same model bug assault, the bug assault 3.0, but now the traditional bug assault, this is the weapon that shoots table salt at flies, the spring-loaded kind of shotgun system. That the normal color is orange and yellow, so quite clearly a toy. The camo... the camo pattern had come in, I guess, to further confuse the fly as to who was stalking them. You also do have to put a lot of foliage around your kitchen to help the camo take effect. And it does have a fluorescent orange muzzle. Which you have to have, I suppose, to go, this isn't a gun.
Yeah. But I'm picturing you in full ghillie suit, one of the three you've purchased.
Yes, and staying up late at night using, the miniature model paint that people use for Warhammer to paint the muzzle dark green. So here's the thing. I obviously live in Sydney now. You live in Melbourne. We bounce back and forth doing the podcast. That particular day, we were doing the show in Melbourne. I come down to Melbourne. We do the podcast. You give me the camo gun and the laser sight. I go, great.
Oh, no.
I like to travel carry-on only. So as I was putting it in my bag, I thought to myself, well, this should be fine because it's a toy. Yeah. Like it is really just a toy. And it was fine. It was fine. Goes through the scanner at the airport, Melbourne Airport. And I go, and I could see it on the screen. Like my bag had come through and, it still shows you a picture of the last bag to go through. And I was like, God, that looks funny because that really looks like a shotgun in your bag. And so I am getting my phone out to try and subtly take a photo just to send to you guys, to the team to go, look at the bug assault going through security. And I reckon I was fumbling with the phone for I reckon a full 10, 15 seconds because then you press camera and it's not working. That was jammed on video. And it really was taking me ages. In that time, then the guy sees the screen, right? I could have walked off. I could have been almost at the gate. And he sees the screen and goes, hang on a sec, and grabs the bag. And he goes, there's a gun in there. And then I went, okay, I guess not as innocent as I thought. Yes. And now we have a situation.
No, don't tell me.
Where I'm having to go, where the guy goes, can you open this bag up? Usually when that happens, you go, yeah, sure, mate, no worries. Yeah. What is it, like nail scissors? When you have a real gun in the bag, it's quite a different scenario where you have to say, there is a gun in there. Just so you know, what I'm about to pull out is a gun.
Yeah, but isn't that a bit confusing? Because if it was a real gun...
Yeah, you open it.
Why wouldn't you tell? Why wouldn't you, the security guard, you open this one? I'm not going to hand back.
Or he goes, is this your bag? He unzips it actually. Okay. And I go, just so you know, you're about to pull a gun out.
Yep.
And everything's cool because it's a toy. Yes. It just fires salt. he pulls it out handle first. But as we know, the only bit, then it's camo.
Yeah.
Right? So it looks like a shotgun, but the only bit that keeps it as a toy is the orange bit at the end. But he doesn't pull it all the way out of the bag. So he goes, this thing. And now people around are going, Jesus, this guy's got a gun in his hand. I was like, it's a toy. Hey, everyone, good fun. It's a toy. It's a toy. I highly recommend it. Fun way to shoot flies. So I go, if I may, it's got a thing at the end like it's a toy. And the guy goes, mate, sorry, yeah, you can't take it on. He goes, you could if it was bright orange, but you can't.
You can't?
It's a replica.
Oh.
And he took away the camo. But I said, okay, before you do that, I need to get the laser sight. Can I have the laser sight? Because you can have the laser sight. So I unscrewed that. So I have the laser sight.
Okay.
So that, look,
it was more a review
of the laser sight anyway. Yeah. I mean, we wanted to review the laser sight. I just thought I'd let you know, sadly, that's where the camo gun ended up. And I told the guy, I was like, mate, take it home. You'll love it. It's so fun.
Are they allowed to do that?
I would hope so. I mean, I'm like, you have my full permission. It's a gift to customs. Who doesn't love a barbecue? You're going to have flies this summer.
Yep.
This is how you get rid of them. Okay. So it doesn't matter. I still took the laser sight home, attached it to my regular bug assault, which we keep in the kitchen.
Did it improve accuracy?
Okay. I got pretty deep on this, Ando, and I've actually written like a full review, like in the style that you would find on a website that reviews military equipment or a laser sight.
Okay.
So I've written it out and published it online under my pseudonym, Fly Assassin 88.
Yep.
And this is just my honest to God, non-sponsored opinion. Jack, do you have some kind of like backing music that would be appropriate for a guy doing a weapons review?
Okay.
My name is Hamish, and I recently mounted the laser sight to my Bug Assault 3.0. I found the attachment itself to be smooth and must commend the engineers on the quality of the docking. Turn the sight on. It must be said that the button is small and perhaps fiddly to engage in the heat of battle. However, I found with some practice I could activate the sight and chamber a round of salt and have the weapon in a ready-to-fire position within 2 seconds.
Oh.
I would estimate the time cost of activating the sight to be 1 second. Of course, this only comes into play for the first round fired. Once the sight is on, it remains on for the duration of the battle. It's up to the user to determine if the target is in such a time-sensitive position that the gains delivered from the sight are worth the 1 second it takes to turn it on. Which brings me to the accuracy itself. It must be stated from the outset that as the laser mounts on the underside of the barrel, and lasers are famous for their habit of pointing in a straight line, if aligned correctly, obviously where the laser lands is not the spot where your muzzle is pointing, but about 3 centimetres below it.
Yeah.
You can go to the trouble of zeroing your sight at a range you're most likely to fire at. Find a link on how to do that here. But for most users, they will have to accept that this so-called precision instrument is in fact inherently the opposite of precision. Or to be more correct, it's precisely inaccurate every time. You may say that for an area of effect weapon that has a spray of projectiles rather than a single projectile, that's less of an issue. But experienced shooters would know millimetres matter in fly hunting, so you're therefore left to aim low and do the maths. You, of course, know exactly the spot underneath the barrel is pointing, and that may give some users a degree of comfort, but it does carry with it the risk that whilst bringing the laser onto target, it can pass over the fly and spook them into flying off.
That's what I was worried about.
The trained marksman would only draw the sight up to the fly from below, thus never passing the laser over the fly, but it's worth mentioning. So all in all, in the right circumstances, the laser sight may seem like a solution for those wishing to up their kill count and accuracy rates, but for a product that aims to increase accuracy, it brings with it its own problems, and for the guesswork it removes, it replaces it generously. My advice would be to harness the spirit that your ancestors used when they threw their first handful of salt at a fly on the plains of the African savannas 500,000 years ago. Trust your hands and your eyes to do their job. That's what they're there for. I'm Hamish. Good luck, and as always, good hunting.
Tremendous.
So that's the breakdown.
Tremendous.
That is the breakdown.
Yeah, we don't need
It's
anymore.
fun, but it's,
Yeah,
you're fine without it.